Chuck, it's so awesome to have you in Manchester. The UK fans are absolutely geeking out having you here. He was everyone's favourite fighter back in the day. He was the first superstar of the sport. What's it like interacting with the fans and being around so many old friends?
It's great. I didn't expect all these guys to be here. Anderson, Matt Hughes, all these guys are great good friends of mine, and then all the fans. Always fans here are great. We have really good fans in the UK. So.
Do you enjoy reflecting on your career, and does it bring back a lot of fond memories mixing with these guys? You know, Rampage Jackson, you competed against him, and GSP, Anderson Silva, they were in the prime when you was in your prime as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, but it's great. I just hanging out with them. I mean, I haven't been around these guys in a while, so he's here too. You know, those are my favorite fighters.
Last year we had two of your fiercest rivals on the stage. We had Randy Couture and your arch nemesis Tito Ortiz. Now, that created for some incredible drama back then. You three had some amazing fights, amazing build-ups to those fights. And I just want to know personally, your look was incredible. It still is. The mohawk, the blue shorts, the Iceman. Did you look at it and think, I need to create a character here, I need to create an iconic look?
It just kind of fell that way, actually. That was weird. It's like echoes. It kind of fell that way. I had a mohawk in '92. I started in '92, and then I started doing kickboxing. And actually, my third or fourth kickboxing match, I showed up without a mohawk. There was a bar fight. I worked in bars. At a bar fight, and I had to go to court. So they wanted me to grow my hair out for the court. And so I didn't wear my hair. So I didn't cut my hair for the fight. So I went, and the promoter actually from that fight afterwards goes, "Hey man, don't ever do that to me again." So everyone, I got a second round. I got a second round knockout. But the guy said, everyone asked where you were. You didn't fight on the card. They thought I didn't fight because they didn't see the guy with the mohawk, and I was on the poster. And so that guy went, oh, hey, that makes me memorable to people. So people are looking forward to the guy with the mohawk showing up. So I kind of kept my hair. I mean, back in the day when I first went to UFC, Peretti told me it was played out. Don't get rid of that mohawk. And that was Peretti was the matchmaker back in the day. But he also, that was funny. My first fight. So first UFC fight, I was out there, and I went in. And I'm going to weigh in. You know, I'm really excited. I just made it in the UFC. Going out there, I've been trying to hearing about UFC forever. Kickboxer, wrestler, I want to fight this. I finally get in at UFC 17. I'm flying in. I'm going to weigh in. It's weigh-ins, and I'm looking at it. It's a freaking bathroom scale. Not like a digital bathroom scale. I mean, like one with the thing like. And so I go over. I step on a scale, and I'm on weight. And John McCarthy goes to me, "Hey man, Noe Hernandez was 2 pounds over. Are you okay with that?" I said, "On that scale? Yeah, I'm a wrestler. Get him back over. I'll show him how to get right on that scale. Yeah. You have to lean the right way. You play around, lean a little bit. You can change 5-10 pounds on the scales." So I said that, but then Peretti came back to me in the back and goes, "Hey man, hey, he heard I said, I look, I'm a wrestler. I don't care about it." So he heard I was a wrestler. They didn't know. They thought I was a kickboxer. Saw me in a kickboxing show. That's how they got me. And so Peretti's like, comes to the back and goes, "Hey man, you want to come back and keep it on your feet?" Because they had a thing with knowing that his manager and stuff, but they want to see a stand-up fight. So I'm like, "Oh, well, you're in luck. That's what I want to do." How did I do that? So it was funny.
So your third fight, I believe, you went to Brazil to have a 30-minute bare-knuckle MMA fight, which not a lot of people know about. How the hell did that come about? And no normal person will be like, okay, 30-minute bare-knuckle fight in Brazil. Yeah, go on then. What was going through your mind when you accepted that?
I don't know. They offered me a fight. It was, I don't know. I think it was $1,000 a show, $3,000 more to win, $4,000 to win. And it was supposed to be the tournament. But it was supposed to be a bigger tournament, but they decided to do a 155-pound tournament. and I just did a super fight with Pele, and so we went, and I mean it was, I don't know, I said fine, okay, 1 30-minute round, okay, that's fine. It was bare-knuckle. There's no eye gouging, no biting, no grabbing the ropes. And I think that was about it. No oil, you couldn't put any oil on. That was about it. Those were the rules. It was an interesting fight though. Everyone talked about how crazy it was in Brazil. And we went in, so I'm going in, and like half the crowd had shoebox shirts on. So it's like the shoebox is where Pele fought from. And we get in the ring, and everybody's getting ready to fight. I go back to the corner and go, hey, why is this manager still in the ring? You know, he's the referee. My coach goes, he's the referee, don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, let's go. So it was pretty funny. It was interesting.
It sounded crazy at the time. You had a tremendous run in the UFC as well. And we mentioned the rivalry with Tito Ortiz. He initially didn't want to fight you because he believed that you were closer friends than what you thought. I mean, that was the story, wasn't he? Saying, I'm not going to fight you, he's my friend.
That was a story he made up because he made that story up because we trained together. I can tell you how we met and how I came as a sparring partner, basically. But I beat him up at everything. Styles made fights in wrestling, Styles made fights in everything. He couldn't beat me in a wrestling match. He's a style of wrestler that I love to wrestle. He tries to muscle you, no one's muscling me. I beat him with that. He couldn't stay on top of me in jiu-jitsu. If I started on the bottom, he couldn't take me down. If they start on bottom, I get out 5 times. I'm 5 times in 5 minutes, easy, no problem. And he definitely couldn't strike me. I dropped with body shots all the time. I was trying to be nice. I think I was helping him get ready for Yuki Kondo. I came in, I was playing Southpaw. I'm good at mirroring other fighters. So I was fighting Southpaw trying to beat. And after, he was supposed to do 6 rounds with me. After the 3rd round, he threw his headgear and just quit. He just walked out. I mean, he knew I would beat him. And he was all ready, and I tell him, he was all ready to fight me when I was fighting Vitor. I got the ring, so he was going to kick my ass after Ken. But then I went out and fought Babalu right before fighting Ken. I knocked him out. And all of a sudden, he wasn't interested in fighting anymore.
It was an amazing drama and amazing storyline in the sport as well, because you were both managed by Dana White for a period of time as well, and you were obviously very good friends with Dana White still to this day. Would you say that you had a decent relationship with Tito, and then obviously the build-up to that fight, it sort of disintegrated, didn't it?
I had a decent relationship with him, but I didn't dislike him. And the thing was, I said back then, tell me one time you called me, not ask me for something like business. Tell me one time you invited me over, you always slept on my couch. I slept on your couch because it's too cheap to give me a hotel room. Right? I mean, that was a favor for you, not for me. My wife fed me, yeah. I was there, she ate food, I ate, yeah. But I mean, when you came up, you trained at my gym, we fed you, and you stayed at my house too. So I don't know what you're talking about, you know. It wasn't like, he tried to talk like he took me out the street, taught me how to fight, like I turned on him. I mean, I really, the way I met him was he was going to fight Frank Shamrock. And he was rolling at a gym with my buddy Scott Adams. Scott Adams tapped him about 15 times with leg locks. Scott was a beast with leg locks, maniac. And he was going down to help Tito train him for teach him how to stay on leg locks. He was fighting Frank. So he said, why don't I bring Chuck down and he can spar with him? So that's when I started going out sparring with him, training with him. So when I trained with him, and then when the Tito's bought the gym, they brought me up to Big Bear from Tito's camp for that first fight, and I dropped him with a body shot. Then Dana's yelling at me, getting mad at me that I'm not hitting him in the body anymore. I'm like, he's not letting me hit him in the body. I'll just drop him again, and he gets mad again, drop him again, and it goes back down. I mean, it was just, he did, and he knew I didn't match up well with me in any part of the sport.
What was the feeling like in that second fight? You know, you solidified it, you ended the rivalry in the UFC with a win, and the iconic celebration, everyone knows around the octagon, it was a sight to behold. What were your feelings? And obviously, aside from winning the UFC light heavyweight title, would that be the happiest you've been in the octagon?
Well, I mean, I was out there all those fights. That was actually my favorite one because he actually quit. I mean, Yamazaki was saying, "Move her, I'm going to stop it. Move her, I'm going to stop it." And he looked up and I'm like, "Please stop it." So that to me that's him quitting. He didn't get knocked out. He quit.
And Randy Couture as well. You suffered a defeat early on in your career against him, and you got revenge and you won the trilogy. What was that period like, overcoming defeat? Were you good at the mental side of fighting, accepting a loss is a loss, I can go and get that one back?
I think every loss I've had, I said, man, I know what I did wrong. Please, let's try this again. I want another shot at it. I always thought I could win. I always thought I should have won. I made a mistake. I could have done something better. You know, but it is what it is.
What was it like being a superstar at that time as well? Did you think, wow, I'm actually famous now, people are coming up to me? And
it was really weird. It went from before the Ultimate Fighter, I could walk in the room and go, okay, that guy probably knows who I am. That guy and that guy back there in the top hat shirt, they know who I am. And then it went to, I'm walking down the mall and a 60-year-old lady going, hey, great fight last night. Or like I was in Canada, this lady, she had to be in her 50s, pulled up, hey, can you sign this? She's got my face tattooed on her. She had my face tattooed on her arm. I'm like, okay. That happened so quick. It went from just doing the show to doing, you know, like all of a sudden walking through a mall, random people coming up.
Because I read a story as well that, you know, in the height of your fame and when you was a UFC champion, that you was in a hotel with Dana White and the security guard was like saying, why is this guy walking around like this, like he's a fighter? And Dana White was like, he's a world champion UFC fighter, a security guard. And you bet the security guard that you could choke him out within like a certain time frame, and Dana won $5K on that. Is that a true story?
Well, it's kind of. That was before I was well known, before I was champ, and it was in we were in Boston, the Boston Harbor Hotel, and one of the bellmen was like talking about he's a wrestler. I'm a Puerto Rican, and I'm a wrestler, and he can't even take me down. I'm like, I think I can take you down. I've wrestled a little bit. Okay. So I took him down. I took him down and submitted him, and then he give me another chance. I want another shot at it. And so I took him down and I put him in a kind of like a crucifix kind of show. He just kept making him tap from a neck crank. I made him tap from a neck crank. I kind of felt bad the next day. He looked like C-3PO. But I mean, and Dana, I think Dana gave him wound up giving him like $500 anyway. So sorry, okay. It was pretty funny. The conversation with Lorenzo and Dana's telling Lorenzo about it, and we'd gone to get cannolis like right before that. So there's like midnight. We got cannolis at midnight. So I just said it's out. And so he's telling Lorenzo the story, and Lorenzo's going, wait a minute. Chuck's fighting in 3 weeks. You guys are eating cannolis at midnight and fighting and wrestling with the bellman? What the hell are you doing? What are you guys doing? Stop. It was a fun time.
He shouldn't be trying to test you. He shouldn't be trying to question whether you're a fighter or not. I would not be coming up to you and thinking, yeah, that guy can't hurt me. I'm like, that guy could murder me if he wanted to.
It was funny. We had a good time.
But you also competed in Pride as well, which, you know, back then, you had some dream fights over there. You went over to fight Alistair Overeem, Quinton Rampage Jackson as well. What was that experience like as well? Completely different rule set.
The funniest was actually after knocking out Randall. So I knocked out Randall, and 3 weeks later I fought Guy Metzger in Pride. And they had a three-way negotiation between my lawyers, Brian's lawyers, UFC lawyers. I had a 2-tier contract depending if I won or lost. I went over, and so I knocked down Randleman, and I go over there, and I knocked out that Metzger. And I'm on the way back to the airport with Randall, who's happened to be at my boss. And I was sitting there next to me, and I'm talking to him. I was, man, I was really bummed out. You knocked me out, but man, you're pretty tough. Because I knocked out. Yeah, I'm all right. It was funny. Randall was a good dude.
What did you make of the Pride rule set? Because it did not favour wrestlers, did it? Or it favoured strikers like yourself. You know, if you knock someone to the ground, you could literally stomp on their head. You could soccer kick them.
Well, I do like knees to head on the ground. I miss them taking that away in the UFC. The original rules in New Jersey had knees to head on the ground. And I went to the first fight that was there in New Jersey. And actually, Gary McKee, if anyone remembers who he was, he's the guy that's responsible for getting knees to head on the ground. If anyone's mad about that, just call him up and give him a hard time. But he was kneeing the hell out of this guy. And after this Canadian guy, really tough. He took a lot of knees to head. And afterwards, Larry Hazard was like, man, he was talking to me, I don't know about those knees to head on the ground. And then they took him out of the rules. And that Nevada adapted those rules. So if the Gann hadn't been in that fight, we might still have knees to head on the ground. Which I like as a striker, because if I stop one shot and I can knee you in the head, you're not going to shoot again. I need to hit 5 or 6 times. You're probably not going to take another shot at me. You're trying to come and fight off me, which makes it easier to hit you.
Yeah, it was really brutal to watch, and a dream fight that we did get in the UFC was Pride legend Wanderlie Silva. Probably my favourite fight of yours, to be honest, because it was two icons in their prime, just mixing it up for 15 minutes. What was your thoughts heading into that fight, and what did you make of the fight as a whole?
It was a great fight, man. I was looking forward to it. I really wish it was like later on, like 5 rounders. I think we needed 2 more rounds to finish that fight. But yeah, it was the first time I lost 2 fights in a row. And actually, I did a thing with Tony Robbins, who came over and talked to me about it. It was pretty cool. Got me back to where I think I needed to be mentally. And I was just having fun.
It was an incredible fight, and as well, obviously we've got Kenny Florian over there as well. He was part of the first season of The Ultimate Fighter, going way back, and you was the coach, weren't you?
I had a good story with him. When we did Ultimate Fighter, we had a big thing with the production company, because they didn't understand us, we don't understand them. I don't really care about them. I care about us. Within reason, I'm trying to make a show, but you hired me to be a coach. So he was supposed to fight, and remember, this is a fight that's going to be aired 3 months later. It's not. There's no rush. She's going to fight, and the guy, the official hand wrap guy, didn't show up till late. Showed up late, and they wouldn't let me wrap his hands, which I don't understand, but that's whatever. I guess I'm not the other guy. So he represented. So I'm sitting there, and so we get the hands wrapped. Just got his hands wrapped, and this guy comes in. Okay, he's got to be out in the ring in 5 minutes. He's like, no, we're going to need about 20 minutes to warm up. And I was, he needs to get the fuck out of the ring right now. I was like, what the fuck was that? He went running out and got Andrew, who was the head of, that was the second AD. And me and her friends got over it. She came out, started screaming at me about getting him out of the ring right now. I said, look, you hired me to be his coach. I'm going to treat him like he's one of mine. He'll be out there when he's good goddamn ready. And if you don't like that, you go ask them who they want to fire, me or you. So she was shut up and waited until I was ready. When I talked to her, I waited. Dana said to ask me to talk to her. I said, look, I'll talk to you. Within reason, I will, you're making a show, I'll listen to your suggestions. But you have to understand, I'm going to protect these guys after fighters. They're actually fighting for real here. They're fighting here. And these guys, they want me to work these guys out. It was the original show run was like 60 days. And they wanted me to work about twice a day, really hard, every day. It's like, man, no one can work 60 days in a row. And when they're fighting, this is real fighting. So I'll work around it, we'll get it. And we got through it. I think I still hold the record for breaking the most rules, but but they weren't rules in that fight. They're just rules with whatever the thing was for shooting. I think there's any suggestions.
Well, obviously, you as a coach on the show, I'm guessing if you were a contestant on the show, nobody would be going anywhere near you, no one would have been pranking you. Imagine if someone dragged the water bowl on the door trick with you. They would be iced, they would be put out cold, wouldn't they?
I'm a pretty laid back person in general. I mean, I'm easygoing, so, I mean, I do get a little edgy in fights. I get a little focused and trained, but I'm a pretty laid back person. And if I mess with you, you can mess with me. My friends all know, hey, if I prank you, you can prank me back. So if I don't want to prank, hey, I got friends that I don't play with. I got my baseball buddies, hey, they know better, hey, I'm not pranking you, don't prank me. I'm playing your games. You guys get on the break.
I mean, the first Ultimate Fighter season I ever watched live was the season that you were meant to fight Tito Ortiz, so that was about season 11. And he pulled out, didn't he? And he was absolutely fuming.
Look, I knew he was going to pull out. And actually, they played, I think episode 8, they played a thing about him talking about pulling out. That was filmed week 1. They just aired it week 8. That was filmed like week 1. I told Dana when he did, I said, I don't know why you're doing this, you're not going to fight me. He goes, well, he signed the fight contract, you haven't. I said, well, you know me, I'm going to fight. We just haven't agreed on all the deal points. So, you know me, I'm going to fight. He signed it because his signature's not worth anything. His signature's not worth anything. He's still going to pull out. I knew he was going to pull out. He was just doing that to he wanted attention to be on the show.
At that point, you'd already beaten him twice, but you still just wanted to knock him out again, didn't you? He was so annoying.
Well, actually, no. I was begging to have Forrest beat every guy. Before I said, well, Forrest just beat him when I fight. Why would you Forrest? I was asking Dana not to do that.
Obviously, Rich Franklin came in and filled in, and that was your final fight with the UFC. And it was heartbreaking to see you leave like that. And I remember it got announced at the press conference for UFC 125, I think it was, Frankie Edgar Gray Maynard. You announced your retirement, and you was very emotional. What was that experience like?
Well, yeah, I asked Dana that. Dana talks about it and says he told me to retire, which is not true. We went to dinner, and he was planning on telling me to retire. And I said, hey man, I want to know I want to retire. I can't compete at the level I want to compete at anymore. He shouldn't have been able to knock me out. And if he's going to knock me out, I shouldn't probably fight anymore. And he's like, oh, thanks. I was going to tell you I wasn't going to fight you anymore. He was actually going to release me and let me go fight somewhere else if I wanted to. But I mean, that wasn't what I was trying to do. So I just asked him, just give me a couple months to get accepted myself, and then we can talk about it to people and let them know. And they were great to me. And, I don't know, I guess Dana, I don't know why he remembers it that way, but he planned on coming to tell me that, but he actually thanked me for not making that to tell me. I knew I was done.
Was there a dream fight for yourself, a guy that you would have loved to have faced that had made a lot of money? Because from the top of my head, I'd have loved you have moved up in weight class and fight Fedor Emelianenko, or even Brock Lesnar in the UFC at heavyweight. That would have been awesome. Well,
I would have either of those guys I would like to fight. They're great fighters. And Fedor I used to joke with Fedor. The problem is, man, I tap my sorry. You come down to 205, you can make it. Because he's a 205. He just didn't want to come big. He could make 205 if he wanted to. And I'll say though, what's his name? Brock. Yeah, Brock actually, he's afraid to get hit. So he's one of those people that he has a hard time fighting, but that's one tough son of a bitch. Because when Carwin hit him and hurt him, he had no quit in him. Carwin hits hard. And he hurt him and had him hurt, and he just kept fighting. But it's just weird because he's so afraid to get hit. Jerks out of it, makes it easy to punch a guy. So that'd be a fun one too.
And it's amazing to see.
I tried to fight Sylvia. I tried to talk to Dana. When Randy fought Sylvia, I asked Dana for that fight. And Dana said, no, just heavyweight, I don't want to fight, it's too big. And it was funny because I watched the fight when Randy hit him that overhand. first round. And when I looked at Dana, I went,
Yeah.
okay. Well, yeah, that was.
He still never let you go up to heavyweight after that.
Well, I don't think it ever came up again. I don't know.
You could have fought Randy at heavyweight as well after he'd beat Tim Silva as well.
Yeah.
But that was probably around, that was 2007, so you was fighting Wanderlie at that point.
Yeah.
So it probably was a bit difficult. But you mentioned Tim Silva, he's actually doing power slap now.
I heard it.
That?
That's awesome.
That's crazy, isn't it?
You know, that whole power slap thing's kind of funny. I just think it's weird that they sanction that so easy when it was so hard to sanction MMA. I mean, I got no problem with two guys, two grown men want to decide if they can hit each other harder. Who hits harder? Great. If you want to do that, more have fun. I'm not sure why you want to do that, but okay. And then if people want to watch it. If you don't, no.
Do you think if BKFC, bare-knuckle Fight Club, if that was as big as it was, if it's big as it is now, back then when you was just retiring, do you think you would have maybe gone and fought Tito in a bare-knuckle fight or another big superstar?
I don't know. I mean, I always said if I ever fought a boxer in boxing, I'd want to fight bare-knuckle.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to hitting with bare knuckles, they're not. They have a higher chance of breaking their hand. They've never punched with that. A lot of them never punched with that glove.
The influence that you've had on the superstars of today is absolutely huge. I know everyone, did you guys see Alex Pereira shave his head like yourself? That was awesome. And then obviously Conor McGregor, I think he met you at a show in Dublin when he was a young man as a fan. Have you seen that picture of you guys in the crowd?
Yeah, I saw the picture. I think that was that in
2008, I think it was.
Well, I'm not sure. It was a long time ago.
That's great. So when you look at that and look at the superstar that he's become, you were his hero back then. He's gone out and said that you were his hero. How does that make you feel?
That's pretty cool. I mean, I like quite a few fighters come up. Hey man, you're the reason I got into fighting. Thank you. I appreciate that. I always like hearing stuff like that.
Who were your heroes growing up in combat sports?
I was watching. We watched that when Tyson was in his heyday.
Yeah.
Sugar Leonard.
Yeah.
Spades. I watched all those guys. There were a lot of good fights back then. Boxing. I was watching boxing mostly.
And I'm pretty sure Dana said that you are his all-time favorite fighter. So to hear the guy that's been pivotal in the success of this sport, to him say that, it's absolutely incredible, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's cool. I mean, of course, we were friends. We the manager, we did a lot of stuff together. So I spent a lot of time trying to promote the sport, traveling around, doing a lot of crazy stuff, trying to get things going.
Amazing. Everyone give it up for Chuck Liddell, guys.